I grew up on the Ashwood Park estate in the 70s and early 80s, and last year somebody posted on Facebook this amazing black and white picture showing Bellevue and the church and the fields where Ashwood Park was built on. So I went to Google Earth and played around with that to try to get a very similar angle of what that looks like today. You cannot do it exactly, but you can clearly make out here the park, which is on this picture here, and this is Bellevue Avenue going along here, as you can see over here. And you can pinpoint a tree on the corner here. I would like to think that tree there is the same one, but I don't know. So when I saw this picture, I thought, oh hey, look at this, there's a hedge going along here. Is there any evidence of that hedge today? And the answer is yes. Looking at a different set of pictures now, this is a 1900 OS map against what it looks like today. Here's Bellevue here. You can see the cursor moving on what it looks like today, and the 1900 map. Here's Bellevue, and the hedge that we're looking at goes on the back of these Victorian houses, these long thin Victorian gardens. The hedge goes along here, and the question is there any evidence that that hedge still exists, or where it was before the whole estate was built? And the answer is yes. Before you ask, I looked around for the other hedges that were on these fields. There's no evidence of those. But let's see if there is evidence of this. So we go to Google Maps, zoom in a little bit. Here's Bellevue, and as we know, the hedge came along the back of those gardens up the hill. And amazingly, when I did this, it blew my mind, and you can see evidence of where that hedge was. Obviously, the roads are all connected, and my kind of guess is that maybe the lower part of Ashwood Park was built first, and then the northern part was built later. So this maybe even would have been fields whilst this was still being built on. So what I'm going to do now is use the Street View of Google and go to each of these roads, Elmwood Avenue, Balmoral Road, and see if there's any kind of evidence of that hedge. And remarkably, there is. Here's Elmwood Avenue, Elmwood Road rather. Here's where the hedge was. I zip along here, and the hedge would have run up along here, and that's the edge of the boundary. Go to Balmoral Road. Is there evidence of the hedge? Yes, there is. It's along here, and I go along, and the hedge would have run up here. Go to Hamilton Road, Hamilton Drive rather. Here's where the hedge was, and I zoom around to the other side, and that is the hedge now. It's a hawthorn hedge, I think, on this Google Street Map view. Perhaps I would expect that to be hawthorn too originally. I'm not suggesting it's the same bush that's lasted all that time, but it'd be nice to think so. Now, the other interesting thing which you can see on Arundel Avenue in particular, here's where the hedge ran, where this car is parked, and then it carried on up here. And if I'm right about the location of the hedge and my theory that the houses were built on the north and the south side of Ashwood Park at different times, then we might expect different architectural houses, because they were built perhaps either at different times or by different companies. And here you can clearly see this is the style of house on the north side of the hedge, and I go along here and it's a slightly different style. It's maybe easier to see here. Sort of very light brick here on Arundel Road, and then I drive along here, a very, very different brick, a very different style. It's the same on Balmoral Road as well. It's not that easy to see here, but the hedge ran along here, and architecturally some of the houses were different. It's a fantastic picture, and I've never known that hedge, although it's been built over, the actual evidence that parts of it are still there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the photo.